Hello everyone, welcome back to the KMTRADERS channel. So this is the full market analysis volume 46. Again, we're just going to be taking a look at the charts of our previous analysis and review it to this week and prepare ourselves for this upcoming week. So we are going to look at gold and EU tomorrow just because I want to go over a few things, but we'll start off with NZDUSD. So what we looked at last week was a possible move to the upside to fill into this area here. So it was coming into a nice psychological level of 0.726, and it actually did quite a well off a rejection from this point. So as you can see, we had a really sharp turnaround point. So now looking at this from for the next week or for this week, sorry, we can look at taking some sell off opportunities and really see if we can continue it and to push lower. So for next week, I'm going to see if we can still hold below this level. We should be able to continuate and push further lower to take out these lows, and we could be looking to target into the lows of even to 0.7. In between to 0.69, so somewhere around that level for the long-term vision. But again, as we know, this isn't going to be a straight down drop. It's going to be in a form of lower lows, lower highs, etc., and so on. So yeah, just keep that in mind. This could be a nice trade-off opportunity and a nice trend to follow for the short term to this level. So that's what I'll be looking at for next week, and hopefully we can get into that. Looking at AUDUSD. So yeah, we were looking for one final push to the upside for this, but we actually didn't get that, and we obviously saw this huge sell-off into the market. So where my head's at with this pair is to see if we can continuate this move to the downside. So if we take a few drawings away, we can see that prices stepping down quite nicely. So as long as we are continuously making new structure lows and lower highs, we can still carry on with this trend and trade this downwards. So obviously we have these structure points here, so this would be a key significant point for myself to make sure that obviously if we stay below this point in the market, we should continue to stay lower, and vice versa. So hopefully you guys understand that the structures. So just really keeping it simple, trading off the 4-hour structures, nothing too complicated there. So yeah, so we'll move on to UJ now. So UJ was quite unfortunate with this. I was looking for a move to the downside just to finalize it, but we actually had that huge explosive push to the upside. So now that we have pushed above this, remember me saying last week, a few weeks ago, that if we go above this zone, I will be considering bullish momentum. But now I'm taking a look at this. Even though we are pushing up quite steadily, I'm just going to be keeping an eye on a 1.107 as a target, because if we are capable enough, we could see a potential move to the downside. Now, this doesn't obviously mean that you shouldn't be looking out for buys, because we still have that. We have all this space here to carry on trading to the upside. So what we could be doing is looking for continuations to the upside, etc., like so. But just out of for our long-term vision, we could have a possible turnover to the downside and to really take out all of these lows, because I think on the higher time frames, we're talking weekly and the dailies, we have a significant low, critical low that we need to take into consideration, because structurally we are in a bearish scenario. So we could see price take a very strong dip in the market very soon. Not very soon, but in the future. But for the time being, it's better to just look at obviously at the present moment and see if we can continue it and push higher. So we'll see where this goes for now. If we do have any updates, in particular with this pair, I will obviously provide a bit more detailed analysis on a smaller time frame. But yeah, we'll see what happens with this pair. So I'm quite interested in UJ in the long run. So looking at CADJPY, so what we looked out for last week was a possible move to break above. But what was actually quite significant was we actually broke a structure high, sorry. So our conditions have now changed, and as long as we stay below this high in the market, we should be able to stay low. Move lower. Which was our next key point in the market that we want to look at. But another thing that I'm keeping an eye on is the strengthening in the market here, as we had two strong candles here. So just keeping out caution with that, and obviously with the momentum pushing quite strong, we could see price break through. If that does happen, then I think we do need to have a look into this a bit more detail. But yeah, if we have a look at the RSI, like I have been warning for this pair, is a potential sell-off opportunity. Now we are still technically diverging lower and lower, so we could see price make a continuation lower. So we could see price head to take out this prior low and potentially even these lows here. But obviously, it's going to take a lot of time for that, so we can keep those levels in mind. So roughly at 81 and 80, some levels to keep in consideration. But if this level does hold in the market to the downside, it's a good 200 pip move. So of course, there's a lot of pips up for grabs here. So don't obviously miss this opportunity. So yeah, so we'll take a look on EJ. So there's a few things here. EJ, I've been looking for actually a downside move still, but yeah, I think with this momentum carrying up, I'm actually confident that we could be looking at another change in our bias. So ideally, I want to see price head into this structure. So this is the significant the low it's been taken, but as price has been stepping up quite nicely, it could actually hold the potential to push higher. Now, if it does push higher, we are going to continue it higher, and then obviously we can look at the next move, and then we'll talk about this in a bit more future. But if we actually do push this higher, we could still see a potential move to continue it further. So something like this, etc. But what we could do is just stay a little bit patient here, because this is quite it is moving backwards and forth, and I have been looking for potential moves to the downside. So it could do something like this, where we do get a push to the upside and then we get that drop off. So I wouldn't be surprised if this does happen, because we could see price take a low, and as we have been looking at, this is the structure low. So if we just take it from here to there, as we were looking to pan out a price to come into 124. So that's roughly where we could see price come into play as a potential target for a nice retracement. But again, this is just a little scenario that you could potentially look out for. But again, if you are willing to take this sell-off, don't just sell anywhere once it breaks a high. Like, make sure you're waiting for that momentum. But I'll obviously do a little detailed analysis once I start to see signs of something with EJ. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking with that pair. NZDJPY now. So yeah, what I was looking at for this pair was actually to see if this level in the market was going to hold. And as you can see, price had made that step up, so that's why we couldn't really get in a sell-off opportunity. I did think that we did miss this one here, but obviously price made that huge recovery in the market, so it just went down for about 80 pips. But nonetheless, we could still find that we are waiting for this sell-off, and I am still convinced that we are potentially dropping off. So if we just take a if we alter this trend line. So now why I'm still thinking this is because we still have that push to the upside, and I am still looking for that drop in the market, which we were looking for here, and we did look for something, but obviously price made that steep upwards move. So if we take a look at the RSI, we should be able to see some sort of momentum change. So this is the current significant previous significant high, and this one is obviously the current one. So if we take a look, we do have a slight steepness into the peaks of the RSI in correlation to, or in relation to, the price action. So we do have some loss of momentum here, so we could see a potential sell-off opportunity to break these lows and to potentially take out this low, and to even potentially these lows. But this is what I'm just focusing now, is just what we can see onto the screen, rather than taking a deeper look back further, just to focus on the current price action. And that's ultimately where the vision is right now. So we could look at a take profit level at any of these, so 74 or 73 even, as a potential take profit level. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm looking at for NZD. So yeah, we do have a lot of opportunities to head into the market soon. So AUDJPY. So what I'm looking at for this pair is a sell-off opportunity again, as we can see that this price in the market is holding quite well, so around 81 to 80.80. So if we get rid of all of this consolidation stuff, so what we can see here, we had a push to the upside. Now we can see that there is a minor continuation to the upside. So as long as this, for me, as long as this structure in the market holds, we could see a potential turnaround into the market. So whether we start to see a sell-off immediately, or if we have price come up and then have that turnaround, that's an example of what could happen. But either way, one of the two things what we're going to be focusing on is that sell-off opportunity, and ideally I want to first to see if we can take out this low, and then if we can, this one and then this one here, just all these structures that we can break. So 78.80 to 77.6, so somewhere around those levels could be of significance. But yeah, as long as we stay below this zone, which is very important, so 81, we should have a continuation further to push lower. So yeah, it's pretty much where we should be heading for. Finally, for the last two pairs, we are looking at USDCHF. So as we can see, price is making a way to the upside. So I was actually looking for a potential dip into the market to the downside before we could look at a potential move up. But we can see that price is slowly stepping up now. So what I am convinced is that we could get another small dip into the market. Now, whether it's a deep retracement or a very minor one, that's obviously what we need to look out for into the market. But it's something that we are that you need to look out for before you take your order. So yeah, pretty much look at that, and as long as we stay below this low in the market, for myself, I think that we should be still structure wise, we should be still heading up. So we could look at something like this into a scenario, and my first point of target is to around 0.90. So if we do manage to come to this area, it's around 170 pips. So we do have a lot of pips up for reward here. So that will be something to watch for next week. I feel like this could definitely happen in the next 2 weeks or so. So yeah, something to keep a lookout for. So USDCAD, this one's been undercover, for a long time. We've been always waiting for this bullish momentum. So I am quite convinced now that we are pushing high with this pair. So ultimately, we can see that we're having just a minor correction now. So we are in an impulsive, we are in a structure moves to the upside. So as long as we stay below this now, I think that we should be comfortably bullish. So we are, this is at 1.26. So if we stay above this level, we should be able to target at least 1.31 long term, or even long term we should get there. So around 300 to 400 pips, just a nice ballpark area. So there is a lot of rewards here, and of course this, don't expect this to be a trade that takes a 1 day. This could potentially take 3 to 4 weeks, potentially 2 months. So but that doesn't mean that you can't trade the waves obviously in between. So ups, downs, the the structures all along the way. So be mindful of that, and of course they're your most important levels in the market that you want to take important note of. So yeah, that'll be pretty much it for this week. You know, we can start seeing momentum coming into play. We have personally been quite quiet on the group. We are still taking our trades very nice and slowly. So as you can see with this week's video, we can see that we haven't managed to get any trades. That's been quite successful. We did manage to get into some trades that managed to hit 20 to 40 pips. It's just unlucky that it didn't reach that full 100. But yeah, as you can see, the analysis was just a little bit off. But now that we are technically waiting for the next opportunity, you know, like I said, there's always opportunities that come back. So yeah, so obviously keep that mindset with you at all times. You know, there's always opportunities in the market. It's just a matter of picking the correct ones. And that's what we will do. So yeah, guys, if you really want to join our trading group, that link is in the description below. If you have any other questions, I'm more than happy to help. Leave them comments in the section below, and obviously feel free to join and follow our Instagram on our social media link. So that link is in the description also, and that will be all. So that will be. We do have actually Euro USD and gold for tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. And above all, have a good trading week, guys, and we'll see you all in our next video.